Hello and welcome to Joyful Journey podcast. This is Joanna and Jackie, and today we'll be talking about what space are you choosing from, or are you creating from, really? So, is it from fear? Is it from worry? Is it from desperation? Or is it from joy and lightness and inspiration? How are you, Jackie?
Yeah, I'm fine. I actually think this topic is really important because I know as a person myself, I've often created from a place of fear, and fear becomes turns into lack. So again, when we choose to live our life in that fear desperation mode, it will reflect in the life we have. So it's a difficult topic because sometimes you don't see it that you're doing
Mm.
this. And when I think about for me, money, the lack of money, then that limits and blocks my flow of money to me. Or lack of love, again, or fear of love, that blocks the flow of love. So this topic I feel is so important for everyone because there are always little aspects that we are creating from a space of fear. So
Yeah.
if you can dive in and see where it is for you and break it and change your story. So how about you, Joanna?
So I tend to ask that question lately quite a lot, and I try
Yeah,
to remember to ask it as much as I can. Like personally, what uh, in tying up with my emotions,
yeah,
basically. So my emotions here are a bit like a compass. So when
yeah,
I feel, what do I feel? What is it creating?
yeah,
Or when I have doubts, or when I have battles, with myself, like, oh, I'm not gonna do this, or I'm gonna do this, or should I do this, and all these kind of doubts and questions that are not very constructive, really.
yeah,
Then I ask that to see what is behind it. So it's
yeah,
exactly what you said, that there is something behind, and is what is it? Is it the fear? Is it
yeah,
the underlying, like, looking to the future and being worried about stuff?
yeah,
Or is it like sometimes with work I would come from desperation
yeah,
and a conclusion. So basically I would already think I've got to do this
yeah,
without asking, and then it doesn't feel so nice. So I'm
yeah.
like, why?
No, and I
And then
think
this is that desperate feeling where you're like,
yeah,
oh no, I've got to do this, but really, no, you don't. So we can
yeah.
ask a question.
And I think it's really important because, often, it's interesting. When you said, I think about these things, you circle in your head
Mm,
and there's no clarity because your mind is confused. And if you take a moment and stop and breathe and just think, is this actually going to be good for me? And feel into your body, because we're also in this society, we're supposed to be out there doing, getting things, it's a very fast paced life we live. And sometimes we don't stop. And we're
mm,
just on that treadmill going, I've got to do it, I've got to do it, I've got to get this, got to get this, and actually we often are doing stuff that we don't want to do because we think we should
yeah,
from outside judgments or places or how we've been brought up. I know my family was particularly, work orientated. If you're not doing 10, 15 hours a day, there's something wrong with you.
yeah.
When I look at it now.
Hard work has a value, right? It's a glorified thing.
And I was saying to someone the other day, oh, our family all works long hours and we all have high blood pressure. I mean, when I wrote it down, I thought, oh, a 10-hour, 12-hour day is not unusual for our family,
Mm,
or 7 days. And I thought, God, this is insane.
yeah,
You know?
basically. So
Yeah,
um, again, it's like judgment, right? So we
yeah,
judge ourselves. We
yeah,
con ourselves, really. We con ourselves into stuff that we think we should be doing
yeah,
because the society in our brain is so much solution based.
yeah,
So everything is like, what do I do? how
And
do I fix this? Like
yeah,
everything sometimes seems to be wrong all the time. So we need to fix this, fix that, fix ourselves, fix the money, fix the work, fix
yeah.
the
There's a lot of
partner,
fixing going
fix
on in
the
this sentence.
relationship. And so if it's like fixing everything, then
Yeah,
then then there has to be a solution. So
yeah,
it's very logical, mind-based, and that's why
yeah,
we go into that looping, like you say, like going round and round.
yeah. And it's interesting when you say the logical mind, actually, when you sit back and think, take a step back, is it good for you? What are you striving for? Is it going to make
Mm,
you happy?
mm,
So again, think about what will make you happy. Will it be £1 million in the bank, or would it be an easier life that flows? Where you have joy, you have happiness. Again, I think often we've built a story not because that's the story we want. It's the story that other people want for us.
yeah,
So again, we might be carrying stories from our childhood of what an acceptable person is.
exactly. And that's why also it's important to check in and be present with what we're
Yeah,
feeling, because certain things will trigger something, and if we're not present with it, we're just gonna run on top of that energy
yeah,
on automatic. But then we're gonna do the same thing over and over and over again,
yeah.
expecting that something else happens, but that doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, no, and that's exactly it. Because people say, "Why am I looping back into old patterns?" It's because we haven't broken them truly,
Mm.
And again, going on a theta standpoint, often something is serving.
Yeah.
It could be, again, I think there's a level in our family of martyrdom. I work so many hours,
But you
and
know,
I
there
don't.
is so much of this in society. Somebody actually
Yeah,
told me that recently, that if I don't, but from the point of view of if I don't work so much or so hard or so
yeah,
long, then I got to justify myself
yeah, yeah,
because this somehow become a norm that we work so much and
yeah,
then the life is outside of work and not the other way around.
yeah. So again, it's really interesting. So the question we want to ask today is really, what do you want your story? How do you want your life to play out? And again, it really is about feeling into your body when you do things. Does it feel right to you? Does it
Mm,
feel light?
yeah,
These are very much access tools, but actually trust your inner knowing, connect to your intuition, because your intuition will guide us. And often we block our intuition because, again, we're taking on perceptions outside or from other
yeah.
people, what is right for us. And the truth is, only you as a person know the truth, what is good for you. But
Totally,
you
but
fit,
also I guess when we tune to ourselves and not
that's it.
outsourcing to other people or work or parents or yeah or
Yeah,
partners or even children or whoever is outside of us, then we can actually ask
yeah,
because it's like I sometimes look at myself. I try to run the same as I ask this question, the same I ask in a way that you would ask like your best friend,
yeah,
let's say. You wouldn't say, hey, you need to do this. You
yeah,
don't have a choice. Like, but
yeah,
we do that to ourselves, actually.
yeah.
We
And again,
instantly conclude something and like, oh no, I'm gonna do this, like as if there was the only choice on earth.
yeah. And I think also we're probably our own worst critics or
Mm,
judgments.
mm,
I probably judge myself more harshly than a friend would, because, I'm my own worst critic.
yeah.
So again, we have to have compassion for ourselves. And when things, or when we make judgments that aren't right, we just have to let it go. So again, I think it really is about feeling into things and listening to you,
Yeah,
listening to
it's
yourself.
respect, isn't it, in some
Yeah,
way when we look at it? Because if it was a person outside of us, we would have asked, we would have taken in consideration their opinion or their desires or what they want or not
yeah,
in that situation. And we would probably most likely try to accommodate it as well.
Yeah.
So what if we did it with ourselves, where we
Yeah.
would ask, we would receive, we would be present with what we
Yeah.
like, being real and
Yeah.
honest in some way that, oh, not maybe a while ago it was good, but it's no longer doesn't feel good. So
Yeah.
what now?
And again, that's an interesting point of view, as we say in Access. Actually, when things don't feel good, it's okay to stop them.
Yeah.
We don't have to keep going with things because they were good at one point. You can shift direction, make changes. So again, that's about listening to what feels right. So again, I've often been on one direction and then suddenly realized it's not working.
Mm,
And it's okay to let it go, even if I've put a lot of work in or spent weeks on something. If it's not right, just to let it go rather than persevering
yeah.
down that route. I'm trying to think what that was, but I know there was something. you know? Well, I
Done
can
it.
I can
Done
safely
it
say
so
with
many
my
times.
bookshop,
Yeah.
I kept going,
Mm,
even though I knew it wasn't working because of the rates and the business rates. But again, when I left the bookshop, when I closed it finally, the lightness.
yeah.
People said you look 10 years younger, and I went, oh,
That happened to me with so many jobs, when I
yeah,
would overstay, kind of like because I have to, or because of
yeah,
commitments, or because of other people.
yeah,
I used to work with people almost always, so it was some emotional commitment or some other
yeah,
commitment at some level. So
yeah.
again, where do we commit to ourselves with that?
And
Like
also,
truly.
where do we make unconscious contracts?
Mm,
Because sometimes we make unconscious contracts and don't even realize that we've made them, to either stay somewhere or stay with
mm,
someone, or, the contracts can be any type of contract, but we've made them unconsciously. So
yeah,
also feel in to see what you bound yourself to or committed yourself to that is not bringing you joy. I think that's
okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and that's a
Yeah.
good way of asking again. So this is all tuning in where we're coming from or what we're tuning
Yeah.
in. And sometimes it's okay also to feel out of sorts, right?
Yeah.
But then we don't have to avoid it. We can
Yeah.
be with it and see what
Yeah.
it is about, and
Yeah.
then move forward, move away from it, move to more joyous feelings and to
Yeah.
more joyous choices. And what would it be if we all actually chose joy? And what
Yeah.
is light for us? That would be beautiful.
And, again, it's an interesting topic. What is joy? What is joy
Mm,
for you? Again, when I think of when I was a child, there was no obligation. It was about playing and
mm,
growing.
mm,
You know, as adults, we have so many obligations on us
yeah,
that, even when I ask myself, what is joy? Sometimes it is difficult to come up with what is joy, you know, because for me, obviously, my cat brought me joy,
mm,
but how often do I go and play? I don't often, as a child, I'd be out there making mud pies and God knows what,
yeah,
and making daisy chains. But what do I do that brings me joy now? And, again, it's a big question to ask. What brings you joy?
yeah. And
You know,
often we try to define it rather than again feeling
feel
it,
it.
because the energy, well, sometimes we don't even know what it looks like.
Yeah,
But if you follow the energy and then we come across somebody or something and we play with, and all of a sudden it's joyous, and we didn't know that
yeah,
what's gonna happen.
yeah, yeah. And it's also, I'm going to go opening up to joy as well, because if we feel I'm going back to the story thing, that it's
Mm.
just our story is heavy, then we're
Yeah.
not even writing in that story time to have joy, And
So
again, I look at people's work schedule and I'm like, wow, you know,
when do you have time for anything,
yeah,
actually?
when do you have time for anything? And when do you create time for yourself? And this goes on into that self love as well. Where are you allowing self love for yourself? And it's such a big topic what we're talking about, but it
Yeah,
is, again, as I said, finding the joy, creating the joy, allowing yourself to be in joy, and
yeah,
you know general excitement about life as well.
I think generally this is really and truly our natural state of being.
Yeah,
And what the question is about is to tuning into it.
yeah,
Because sometimes we get buried and lost into other things. And underneath the heaviness, like you say, or the
yeah,
clutter, or the commitments, or work, or
yeah,
family life, or whatever, all that stuff that is so busy. But
yeah,
then it still can be joyous in business,
yeah,
but we just have to attune to different
yeah.
different emotion or different choices.
Well, very mundane. Yesterday, I did a deep clean on my kitchen.
Nice.
Did the air filters in the hood of the extractor. And when I finished, I went, "Oh, that looks really, really." So I got joy from it being really, really. I did, everything was taken off, and actually that brought me joy because it just looked so lovely.
Yeah.
And I
And
was
you
just like,
probably felt much
I was just
lighter.
beaming, you know. So again, I'm just thinking about it. Actually, that brought me joy
Yeah.
because it just felt good. It felt, I was happy. So again, it doesn't have to be, joy. What is joy? It can
Yeah.
be just small moments.
Just being present as well, because
Yeah,
you were there, you were in the moment, you were
yeah,
doing something for you and your home,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and that's nice.
Yeah, no, I must admit, it hadn't occurred to me that brought me joy, and I know it did. I was very pleased with myself. I went, "Oh, Jack, that's very good, very good."
Well done. But it
Oh,
is a nice feeling. I recognize that feeling too
yeah,
when the
yeah,
space is happier and then we happier in it.
yeah, yeah. And again, you're talking about decluttering. When your mind is so cluttered with so many thoughts, again, you're overwhelmed. The overwhelm comes in, then the
Mm,
fear comes in.
mm,
And again, the decluttering, Maria Candy or whatever her name was, declutter your home. And I think again, we are very cluttered now. Our lives are cluttered, our lives are busy. The mobile phones, we're always in
mm.
contact, we're always available, and again, it's that clutter. So it's probably decluttering is not a bad idea of many things.
Totally. And I think that brings us up to this doing
Yeah,
energy,
literally do do do
isn't
do
it?
do do do
Yeah.
do. It's like on the old-fashioned records
Yeah.
when it was looping and there was a scratch
Yeah.
and it keep
Yeah.
jump jump
Yeah.
jump 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 jump.
And the same
It's
kind
just
of
yeah,
it's the
it just
same
brought that
noise.
image to my mind of the record going.
And we say, right? Like a broken record.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah,
And we feel like broken at the times like that.
yeah,
So yeah, again, it's so important to use that tool or that question
yeah,
to realize where we're coming from, where we're
yeah,
standing, where we're hiding,
yeah,
where we're heading. All of it will
yeah,
give us a hint to basically whether we like it or not. Because
yeah,
if not, then we just got to change direction.
yeah. And it really is about stopping and asking as well, not looping because it's
Being
easy to loop
present.
because we know it.
Yeah.
I've certainly done it myself where I've been looping in habits that I feel like I can't break, but it's because part of me hasn't wanted to. But it really is about stop and ask, is this working for me? And especially, I'm going to bring up because we are coming to the end of the year, it's
Mm.
about looking about next year. What does 25 want to look like for you? What is the story you want to create
Yeah.
in 2025? I know it's a little bit early to be bringing this up, but
Well, mind you, it's going quick. So
it is
it's on
going
December,
quick.
it's on Christmas, and then it's over. So we kind
Yeah,
of look back and reflect on what the
yeah,
year has been like, what we achieved, or what we accomplished, or what we haven't. There might be
yeah.
some regrets or whatnot. So
And
yeah,
again,
it's a good
uh,
moment.
uh, when before we came on, we were talking about it, and it's not regretting or judging yourself about what you haven't done. It's about what can you make happen next time, and
Yeah,
what do you want to see happening next year. So again, we are going to be doing a webinar. It's on the 17th, Sunday, the 17th of November.
yay!
Diana, do you wanna?
Yes, we are going to basically dive into this topic
Yeah,
where you're creating your life from.
yeah,
So it will be about choosing, about what we discussed now, about what space from basically
yeah,
are you stepping out into your creation, because
yeah,
everything creates our life
yeah,
and we create it. So it's so important to really be actually a conscious creator here,
yeah. And
and not just slide by and then realize, oh crap,
yeah,
nothing I
y-
liked happened.
yeah. And again, interestingly, I've been doing a gratitude journal, which I don't often do. Actually, it's made me realize how many things I am grateful for. But again, as we go into next year, I want to have more joy, more fun. I want to do more festivals, even though
Mm.
I feel I'm quite old to be camping, but that's a perception.
Oh yeah, it can be
I'm gonna
fun.
be buying a tent next year. But again, it's really about, again, creating, we always say creating the life you want. That's a kind of a tagline for all of us healers. But it really is about that because, shift the perception, shift your mind thoughts, have good thoughts about, and see your life in a more positive way. So we will be doing clearings in this webinar to break those loops, break
Yes,
those patterns, giving you that clarity of seeing your life in a different way
yes.
and shifting the paradigms as well. Because we all get stuck. I get stuck, you
Same,
know. Yeah,
that's why
yeah,
we're here and that's why we're doing this, because
yeah,
that's our own experience and our own
yeah,
tools and different people's tools.
yeah,
And we want to share it with you. So life is
yeah,
basically easier and
yeah,
the way that you want, the way that you
yeah,
desire. So coming, what if this all could be joyous? We're not
yeah,
saying that everything will be easy, but it can still be joyous and with ease.
yeah,
So this is, all the stories that keep us stuck, we can let them go. That's what
yeah.
we're aiming for.
And actually, even thinking about your life with ease, do we know what it is to even live a life without struggle? So some of us have had struggles so long embedded into us that we
Mhm.
don't even know what it is to live life with ease and flow, because that's been our standpoint for many, many years.
Yes.
And so again, just imagine what it would feel like if everything felt light.
Yes, and also
I,
at
I
some
even,
level connecting to a different part of us, not
yeah,
that part that always struggles, not that part
yeah,
that plays the certain role in that certain
yeah,
story, but basically a different part. So what we'll
yeah,
be doing as well is to release these other stories
yeah,
and the shackles from these
yeah,
parts of us, but also looking in the future self or connecting with the future and highest self to see what else
yeah,
is possible, really,
yeah.
for the new
And
year and for the future.
yeah. And again, it's really important to be honest because I've hidden a lot of my stuff. It's like the more we admit to where things are holding us back, the more we're honest with ourselves because often we're not even honest with ourselves. We go, oh, yeah, everything's all right. But actually, underneath, it's not. So, again, and just we could do also a timeline jump go
Yeah.
to our future selves and see what our future. I have done one jump to my future self, and she's very different. She's more girly,
Mm-hmm.
she's more feminine. It's like she's happy.
Mm.
And this was I did it when I came here, and it was a jump into 5 years into the future. I was totally different. I was super girly, which is
Mm.
not me. I am not a girly person. And she was in flowing dresses and like,
But I love it too. I
yeah,
did it recently with myself,
yeah.
and maybe it wasn't like really specific, like I said, but the energy was so
Good.
much lighter and
Yeah.
so playful and so free at the same time, just like
Yeah.
a bit like what I saw was the image of a hummingbird, like,
Oh,
a bit here, a
beautiful.
bit here, a bit here, and quite
Yeah.
fast, and just, and when we're not judging ourselves and when we're
Yeah.
not judging the journey that we're on,
Yeah.
then we don't also have to hide so much because there is no judgment. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
what it is, and we
And
can move on and choose something else if this is not
isn't right.
shooting. Yeah.
And again, it's that thing of live in the moment.
Mm.
I think in Access they say live in 5 second increments. I'm not sure I could
Yeah.
do that, but
Yeah. It's a good tool. Yeah, 10 seconds, I
I think
think. But
Jane says 5 minute increments.
yeah,
Don't go past 5 minutes, just 5 minute increments.
just basically choose all the time, right?
Yeah,
So you can choose something. And kids do that. That's exactly
yeah,
what you said. You
yeah,
don't sit, well, sometimes you do, but some kids, and very often, they just play with 15,000 toys in a day and switching from one to the next,
yeah,
not
yeah.
sitting for hours at one place in one spot with
No,
one toy,
because
but
normally
just
when
going
I
up
was
and down.
when I was a decorator, the toy area would be like Armageddon. There'd be toys everywhere. You know?
You
It
don't know
wouldn't just
where
be
to
one toy,
step.
there'll be hundreds out there.
And all of
So
them are useful, basically. All of them
yeah,
are got their place.
yeah, absolutely. And I think again we have to remember this as well. So Joanna, we're doing it on Sunday the 17th,
Yes,
7:30 p.m. UK time.
yes.
I'm gonna hazard a guess in America. New York time would be 2:30 p.m. And
That's
then
what I thought.
California
Yeah.
will probably be roughly around 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know the clocks have just gone back. I think they just went back in the US as well. So we're running on the same time sort of frames. So we'll be putting a link out or a flyer out on Facebook, Instagram. If anyone has any questions about what this will entail, it'll probably be what, an hour and a half workshop,
Mm, roughly.
and it will be interactive as well. It won't just be, we'll be discussing with you what your feelings are, getting inputs from you, taking the clearings from what we're receiving information from. Does that make sense, Joanna?
Totally. It's gonna be
Yeah,
brilliant. But basically we work within the energy of the group
yeah,
on that topic, and depending what you come with,
yeah.
if you want to join us, then we will clear it and make it like a nice way
Nice
to
flowing.
move, exactly, to move
And
forward in that joyous way.
yeah. And often, when people bring their subject matters, because you're in a collective group, often we all have similar things.
Yes.
Again, there will be something that you might not have thought about, but someone will bring to the table, and you'll suddenly think, oh, yeah, I do have that.
Mm,
So, again, if it's not you having a clearing or it's someone else, you're going to get benefits from it because
exactly.
we all have sort of, when we come together as a close knit group, we have similar collective beliefs.
Yes. And there's that oneness as well,
Yeah,
aspect of it where we all one in the
yeah,
end.
because we want to grow.
So it's just gonna clear what it needs to clear, and we go with the flow, and
Yeah,
also in a light, fun way,
yeah,
like Jackie said, interactive and
yeah,
playful.
yeah. So bring your Lego.
Exactly.
Bring your Play-Doh
Drawing pads, everything you want.
and maybe some pen and paper so you can dream as well.
Yes, exactly. And then we erase things as well.
Yeah,
So everything that
destroy
we
and
don't no
uncreate it all.
longer need, yeah, we will be erasing and letting go and decluttering.
Yeah,
So yeah, please do join us if it
yeah,
appeals to you. But this is basically a way to choose from a lighter space,
yeah,
from the space that is truest to you as
yeah,
well.
yeah. And just free some of the contracts, some of the obligations you feel you have. Because I know I've certainly had a lot in my life where I felt
Mhm.
obligated, haven't done things from a place of joy. For me, it's obligation and the chains as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Joanna, thank you for coming today,
Thank you. Thank you for all your contributions
and you as
and your
well. It's always
wisdoms.
it's all we sometimes forget to do this, and when we do it, we just love it.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, do join us. We
Yeah,
hope to see you on the 17th, and for lots of
yeah,
fun
of
and lots of
November,
joy coming. Yeah,
absolutely, and make next year the joyful year that we want.
definitely.
Yeah,
See
on
you
all
soon.
levels. Yeah, bye bye.
Bye, Jackie. Bye, everyone.